We've certainly started to build ourselves a nice collection of fresh homegrown salads. We've got various varieties in these little caravan wash bowls because they work so well. That one is a red leaf lettuce and it's called Apache. We've also got a big mass of French breakfast and that's radish. And this one's growing really well. We could harvest the leaves from this and use those for salads, but we could also wait for the bulbs to appear. So we've got two choices with something like that. We've got our old favourite, which is Little Gem. It's kind of like a romaine lettuce, just a bit smaller. But you don't have to grow it to art up. You can just grow it multi-sown like this and then take leaves as you need them. Which, as you start to get into colder months, is going to be your best option. It's going to be too cold for things to reach full maturity if they're an arting lettuce, and they're more susceptible to damage from slugs as well. One good thing about the cold months is we can start re-sowing spinach. And that's one we've got on go at the moment. And you can see we're starting to get little spinach leaves on that already. Spinach is also better grown in colder months because if it gets too warm, spinach bolts. So for me, during autumn and winter, apart from salad leaves, spinach is one that I definitely want to be doing. And we have got a big container of perpetual spinach just starting at the moment. And then I've got this one, which is a new one that I did this year, and that's French mixed salad leaf. So you get different types in there. You get green leaf, you get red leaf, you get a bit of rocket. So a nice little mixture of flavours to your salads. The problem is, once you get into autumn and winter, these are going to start and become redundant. They don't like growing through really cold temperatures. You might get away with some of them if you grow them under shelter, like in a greenhouse, which is my plan, because you're just offering that little bit more protection. But if you haven't got a greenhouse and you still want salad leaves through autumn and winter, then what you need to do is switch from varieties like this to one that's a lot more cold hardy and can take frosts and snow. And one of those is what we're going to be sowing today. This is lamb's lettuce, otherwise known as corn salad. And it's one of the most hardy salads that you can grow. So a really good choice for UK. You can start sowing that as early as April, but you can also sow it August and September and keep it growing on through colder months of the year while these are finishing. So that's the plan. As we harvest these over the next 4 or 5 weeks and they start to become empty, we'll then start and sow more spinach, but then we'll replace all these with something like lamb's lettuce, so we're guaranteed to get a good crop of salad leaves no matter how cold it gets. And these grow quite small leaves, so again they're ideal for just picking leaves as you want them, but they're a little bit thicker leaf than you find on things like Little Gem, and that's what makes them that much hardier. First thing to do is to take all this back out of here and put it back in that container garden to carry on growing, because it's far too hot in this greenhouse for tender leaves like these. And then we'll get some lamb's lettuce sown and prepare ourselves for getting fresh homegrown salad through autumn and winter. Before I get started with the sowing of these lamb's lettuce, I want to say thank you so much to Dee Payne and Ian Williams for making those PayPal donations yesterday. They really are appreciated because it really helps us when it comes to buying the materials that we need to make these videos 7 days a week. And we do plan on continuing all the way through autumn and winter and into next spring. So those donations really help with that. So thank you very much, Dee and Ian. Very generous and massively appreciated. But on another note, also thank you very much, Dee, for that tip on the CalMag, which is a calcium boost for your tomatoes that are suffering from blossom end rot. We did have a bit of a problem with blossom end rot on things like Italian plum tomatoes, which until I started growing them, I didn't realise that they was actually prone to that disease. But thanks to a little tip from Dee, we got ourselves a little bottle of this CalMag and we fed them for a couple of weeks. And if you saw yesterday's video, you'll see just how many Italian plum tomatoes that we harvested. And we haven't got a single trace of blossom end rot anymore thanks to that. So thank you so much as well for that, Dee. A really useful tip that saved us losing quite a few plants. So back to these, and we're going to be using as trusty caravan wash bowls because they work. They don't take up a lot of compost, they don't take up a lot of space, and all we do is drill a few holes in the bottom of them. And then we can get them set up with some fresh sieved compost, because we are using lettuce seeds which are quite small, and we'll get them filled and we'll leave them in here to germinate. We're preparing ourselves for the colder months, and if you do it now, you'll guarantee yourself not having a gap in between the two. Now that's been done, it's just a case of filling these containers up, knowing that we've got really fine compost to work with. So I just fill them right at the very top, because then I can compress it down and leave a gap between that compost and the top of this container. And now we've got a perfectly level base to work on. I want to keep all my seeds at one level because we are multi-sowing again, so all these seedlings need to be coming up at the same time. Because then we can pick leaves as we need them, because then they will start and grow back. So we'll get this second one filled up, and that's a really good start for us autumn winter salad. And I know people might not want salads through autumn and winter, but if you just fancy a little bit of something on the side of your plate, you really don't want to be going out and buying it from your supermarkets when you've got an option now to get some started. And we'll just give these a good watering as well. Make sure there's plenty of moisture in this compost, because we've got the option of putting cling film over the top as well, because that's going to create an homemade propagator. It's going to keep moisture inside this container, and those seeds will germinate a lot quicker. I've never seen lamb's lettuce seeds before, so I'm not sure how big they're going to be. We'll soon find out. They might just be like regular lettuce seed. Actually, they are slightly different. They're more like little balls. So slightly bigger seeds than your regular lettuce, which is good, because when we direct sow, we can see these seeds going on, and then we'll know exactly how many we need to put in here. I just want a nice covering, because each of these seeds grows into an individual plant that we can pick leaves from, and they're not huge plants either. They're quite small. And we'll just have a few more on there, just to guarantee us a nice amount of leaves to harvest when that time comes. And I am going to give these a very light covering using a colander, because I want these seedlings to break through as soon as possible and get them on the way. So a very light dusting of compost. Of course you can just cover it up by hand if you want to. This is just the way that I do it. And that's all nicely covered up now. So we'll do the same with that one, and then that's as containers set up. So if you're at a point where you're not harvesting little containers like this, as you're approaching end of summer, bear in mind that if you still want some fresh salad through autumn and winter, August is a very good time to start sowing it, but you need to make sure you pick the right variety. So lamb's lettuce is a very good choice. It's the hardiest lettuce that you could sow, and you can be picking fresh ungrown salad leaves for months to come. So we'll get those watered in. I'll put a bit of cling film over the top to trap that moisture and get those seeds on the way. And then tomorrow we'll be doing something else. And if you're interested in seeing what that is, hit that subscribe button and press that notifications bell, and I look forward to seeing you then. Take care.